Well, this quad truck video is a little bit different than the others. If you guys watched my last video to the end, you probably saw that I had the engine apart. And I said, you know, is there possible engine problems or am I modding it? So in this video, I actually did end up modifying the engine and also fixing a few problems. So it was a little of both. So anyways, electric start works, which I'm pretty happy about now. Not breaking any more pull starter cords. So stick around and check out the video, guys. So over the last week or so, I found a little problem the quad trucks developed, and I think I got to the bottom of it. And so I've broken 2 pull starter cords in the last week or so. Also noticed around that time electric start wasn't doing as good as it should have been. Thought, well, maybe it's got a low battery, and just this thing started developing wicked compression. And I was like, what the hell's going on here? Anyways, got some new pull starter cord. I'm gonna put it in, but I'm not gonna bother messing around with much more of it. Unless somebody slipped a high compression piston in this thing in the middle of the night and I didn't know about it, it seems to be having a problem with maybe the compression release. I disconnected the governor a while back on it and that jiggles around, but I was noticing last week around this problem started some clacks and stuff coming from the case of the motor. And I was thinking, well, maybe something's going on with that governor. I never pulled it out of the engine, so I think I'm going to get in there and pull it out. But this compression was gnarly. And I think I might have a broken spring on my compression release. That, or possibly I've seen it where the compression releases don't work because the exhaust valve's out of spec. So I'm going to get in there and check the valves, and if they're not out of spec, I'm going to pull the motor, pop the side cover off. And if that's the case, I might, rather than just replace the spring on the compression release, I've had a subscriber suggest to put a bigger cam in here. So if I get in there and something's broken actually on the compression release, I think we're going to hop it up a little bit. Check the intake and exhaust valves, and it seems to be in spec, so I'm going to pull the engine next, put it on the bench, and pull the side case off, see what's going on in there. Alright, getting ready to pull the side cover off, and this thing is probably what I've been hearing clicking around in there, so I'm going to take that out anyways and get a little look around in there. Well, it seems like all hell broke loose inside this thing. I don't think it's catastrophic, but of course it was high on oil for some reason. I think it must have been gas got in there from the stuck float or something. So I'm glad I pulled this thing apart now. I found a bunch of little chunks of plastic sitting all around in here, and I'm assuming it came from the plastic governor here. Pulled out the cam, and sure enough, the spring's gone on it, so the compression release wasn't working right. Anyways, I'm going to do a little more research. There's a ton of cams out there for these things. I'm going to do a little research online and probably just, if I'm in here, put a little hopped up cam in it. So clean this thing out and get it back together soon. Alright you guys, since the last clip I said I was going to order a cam and we'll put it in, and it's been about a month. I kind of got screwed on eBay. I ordered a cam from a company. I think it was BR Carts. I wouldn't recommend ordering from them. I waited way longer than they said it would be here, and finally contacted them a few times, got reimbursed, and just never shipped the part out or got lost or something. So I ordered another cam from another company. It's Dino Cam, and they got here just like expected, and it has some schematic or some printouts on the specs of the cam. So what it was stock class cam. It has a stock lift so I can run the same valve springs. I didn't want to go too crazy on this cam. I just wanted a little something, maybe get a little extra horsepower. Mainly because when I got in here, of course, the spring was broken, and it's like I could have tracked down another spring, but the 30-some bucks this cam costs, might as well just put one in. But it's got a lot longer duration. I'll show you guys a close-up here with the duration on it. And yeah, anyways, got some parts fished out of here. I'll show you guys a little close-up of that as well. About ready to put this thing back together, and about a month ago I had a lot of enthusiasm about putting this cam in and shaving the head. I kind of want to just get this thing back together so I can haul some firewood, but maybe I'll shave the head. I want to put it together, pull it over a few times, check the compression, and then maybe mill the head just a little bit, give it a little higher compression, and we should be done with the mods here. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to actually tap this hole on the top where the governor came through the motor. It's 1/4 I think is what I'm going to tap it out to. I got a little rag down here to catch any chunks that go through here, and then I can put a little Loctite on a bolt and cap it off. should be good to go. Got the journals and lobes all oiled up on here, and I'm going to install the cam. There's a little timing mark right on it here. It's a little hole, and on the crank there's a little punch mark, so all I have to do is line those two up. Pretty simple. There we go. Alright, I got the side gasket on there, and yeah, for about 12 bucks ago I got a whole gasket kit, valve cover gasket, head gasket, intake, exhaust gasket, stuff like that. Pretty cheap to work on these things. I mean, well, hell, the whole engine only costs 180, and this is for the electric start model, so they're kind of fun to experiment around. I can see how they're pretty popular with the go-kart community. I mean, you can trick them out a lot. I don't really want to trick this out that much. It had plenty of power for doing everything I need to do. Plastic governor part coming to pieces. It was kind of my fault. I should have pulled them originally. I didn't think it'd come apart like that, and but it did. And that's kind of what took out the spring, so it's my fault. But like I said, 180 bucks if you have to replace the whole engine, and it's definitely not catastrophic. All right, so I ran a little compression test on this thing, and with the compression release on, I could only get up to about 60 psi. So I backed off the adjustment on the exhaust valve a little bit, so the compression release wasn't affecting it. And as much as I could pull over on it, I got it to about 168. And that's about all I can get on the motor. So I'm going to pull the head off now, and we're going to set it up in the milling machine and start milling it down. So I just got out the milling machine. I wanted to take about 25 thousandths off. I probably took about 35 to 40 off. I had one bad cut where I nicked it a little deeper than I wanted to, and I had to go through. So we'll see what we get out of it. Got a sheet of glass here and some sandpaper. I'm just gonna do a little bit of sanding and just kind of smooth out the machining marks, and we're gonna try it out. All right, pretty happy with the finish on here. Got it all sanded down. Got the new head gasket on it. Now milling the head, that's kind of something I've never done before. I haven't really actually had that milling machine for that long, and I probably didn't have the right tool for it. But that's kind of like me making do with what I got, and like there's not that much at stake. I think I can get a whole new head for this thing for about 55 bucks. That's a high compression head. So if I screwed something up because I did something wrong or took too much off, hey man, I'll just buy another head for it. But kind of live and learn and have fun. Alright, well I backed off the exhaust valve so the compression release isn't fouling us up at all for a compression test. And I got about 185, so that's definitely a little bit better. It's about all I could do with try and crank this thing over on the floor here, pull over it. But yeah, it should help out quite a bit. Well, electric start works again. I'm happy to see that. Well, got it up and going again. I missed not having it for about a month here. There's been a lot of firewood I need to move up to my cabin. Anyways, I'm gonna get started on loading up some firewood here and wrap up the video. I'm not sure how much more power it's gonna make. Just done a few test drives with it, but I can guarantee I'm happy to have it starting again and not breaking or pull starter cords. And electric start works again, so seems like a worthwhile thing. Like I said, I really wasn't after much more power, but I was in there, had to replace the spring on the cam anyway, so might as well just put a new cam in it. Well anyways, got to dump out the firewood. Didn't work as planned. I kind of, where I pulled in, it pulled into a little drainage ditch, and there's a little rock wall behind it. So when I went to go dump it, wood just slid out to a point and then got stacked up on itself. And wasn't the most best example of it, but I'm not going to load it back up to shoot another shot of it. But anyways, about ready to wrap up this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I'm going to be, the next video, like I said, is going to be the Swiss Army knife of utility vehicles. I'm going to be adding a lot of little accessories and things to make it easier. If you guys got any ideas, please, like I said before, put them in the comments. Anyways, I really appreciate you guys checking out this video. If you enjoyed it, hit like and subscribe. It definitely helps me to hit a thumbs up too, you know, like I said, because just promotes the channel a little bit more, and kind of gets more viewers out there to see my stuff. And anyways, I don't know if you guys also noticed it, but started out with kind of my regular camera, and when I was waiting for that month for that cam, I ended up looking around, deciding it's about time to upgrade cameras, and I bought not one, but I ended up getting 2 cameras. One used Canon, which is a lot nicer than my old Canon, and I got a new GoPro. Coming up to the 10,000 subscriber mark here pretty soon. Never thought I'd make it to that. I'm pretty excited. I'm going to do a little video on that when we hit the 10,000 mark, and talk more about the cameras and kind of what I see to happen in this channel in the future, and what kind of ask you guys what you would like to see too. But anyways, hit like, subscribe, share if you can. All right, you guys, thanks for checking it out. See you next time. Goodbye. It's okay. Oh yeah. Should be pretty good. Good prop.